I want to begin this hour with Ben Crump, a spokesperson and attorney for George Floyd's family. And sir, good afternoon to you. I want to try and confirm a few things if I could to begin. Can you confirm the charge against Derek Chauvin has been upgraded to second-degree murder?
The charges are going to be upgraded as we understand it, as we've been informed by his family, by the law enforcement community to his family, that the charges would be upgraded against Officer Chauvin. Also, the other officers will be arrested. That's what the family has been notified of.
Okay, all three other officers you're saying will be arrested. What charges will they face? Do you have that information at this hour?
Yes, they're likely to be facing charges of aiding and abetting or some type of felony murder charge for their actions that we all saw in that video where George Floyd had a knee in his neck for 9 minutes almost, and then had 2 knees in his back for almost 9 minutes that were compressing his lungs that would not let them contract to have air come in and out, and it entered the blood flow to his brain. So the pathologist who the family retained to do the autopsy, you all know Dr. Michael Biden and Dr. Alicia Wilson, they concluded the medical cause of death was mechanical asphyxia because of loss of air and breath. And then they said the cause legally was homicide based on those officers putting their knee to his neck and those knees to his back.
And if I could, sir, I understand that that's the case here, but the 3 officers have not yet been arrested. I just want to be clear about that, correct? You believe they will be arrested?
Well, I can't speak to that. I have been notified by the law enforcement authorities that the officers will be arrested and they will be charged.
You mentioned you mentioned the autopsies. There were 2, right? Both concluded homicide. Yours concluded he was asphyxiated. The county's reports talked about fentanyl in his system and that he had heart disease. Does that conclusion now complicate your case in front of a jury?
We certainly don't think so, and I believe the prosecuting agencies are very relieved to have our family autopsy that was not the medical examiner of the county who worked with these police officers on a daily basis. And so we believe this is just an attempt to assassinate George Floyd's character after they killed him by saying, oh, he had fentanyl in his system. He was breathing, walking, talking just fine until those officers put their knee in his neck and on his back while he was face down in handcuffs.
Sir, there are several reports that Officer Chauvin had several complaints against him. Have you seen his entire police record?
We have only begun discovery, but what we understand, he had 18 allegations of excessive force against him, and we understand the majority of those allegations were against minorities.
So there is, in his record, you're saying race was involved in how many events?
It's allegedly 18 allegations that were made against him, and we understand the largest majority of those allegations were made by minorities. And this further underscores the Minnesota governor bringing human rights charges against the Minneapolis Police Department because we believe there was a pattern and practice that existed that this was foreseeable what happened to George Floyd.
And that brings us to a sensitive, I think you used the word tortured yesterday. Do you believe that George Floyd was tortured because he was African American? Or do you believe this is just the way this cop did business with too many suspects in that city?
I believe race played a major factor in this because we see far too often, whether it's Eric Gardner or whether it is Terrence Crutcher or any number of African-American men who were unarmed, not posing any threats whatsoever, that they are killed by excessive use of force by police who, for whatever reason, treats them differently than they treat white suspects. There cannot be two justice systems in America, one for Black America and one for white America. There has to be equal justice for the United States of America. As Ted White and I often talk, you can look at the data and you can see the police excessive force charges and killings against Black people and how the cops are often not held accountable.
Two more questions, if I may, sir. You want first-degree murder. Based on the reporting that's coming in thus far, and we'll see what the AG Keith Ellison does in St. Paul, Minnesota, perhaps in the next hour or even sooner. It looks like you will not get that first-degree charge. How does that change your case?
Well, the family is grateful that all the officers will be arrested. They are grateful that the charges are being upgraded. We believe it should be first-degree murder based on the fact of the audio from the police body cams that tell us what their mental thoughts were during this horrific ordeal. There's a point when one officer says that I'm not getting a post. Maybe we should turn him over on his side. And then Officer Chauvin says, no, we will keep him in this position. And so quite literally, to me, that says intent. He kept his knee on his neck.
Yeah, but the first part of that answer would suggest that you would be satisfied with second-degree murder. Am I hearing you correctly on that?
Well, the family wants first-degree murder, but they want the fullest extent of the laws charged against them based on the evidence. We understand from the Attorney General's office that they will continue their investigation, and if there's evidence to charge with first degree, they will charge with first degree, because the crux of the matter is this: he kept his knee on his neck for 3 minutes after he did not have a pulse, and essentially the ambulance was the hearse for George Floyd when they picked him up.
George Floyd was born near Fayetteville, North Carolina. He was raised in Houston, Texas. He died in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tomorrow begins the first of 3 different stops over the next 6 days, where there will be memorial services and a funeral for George Floyd. Give us a sense of the family. The other day they said they just wanted peace. How are they doing through this?
It's extremely emotional, and they are asking to follow George's example of peaceful protest. The medical examiners found he died because he needed a breath. So the family does ask, and I implore everybody to take a breath for peace, to take a breath for justice, to take a breath to heal our country, and to take a breath mostly for George Floyd, the breath that he was not.
How did they feel when they saw the looting across America and the violence we saw and the standoffs with so many protesters and police officers in so many American cities, Ben?
The family has been consistent. They've always asked for peaceful protests. They've always asked people to use their voices to demand accountability and actions, but they always wanted peace. But let's be clear about this. The protesters did not start these fires burning in the streets. These fires were started because police brutality and a racist criminal justice system. And the only way these fires can be put out is with police accountability and equal justice for all Americans.
The curfew in New York City appeared to do its job last night. Let's hope that's the same tonight. Ben Crump, thank you for your time today and for being with me in Minneapolis.